think Chief Justice at that time asked me, "Beta, what do you want to grow up to be?" And I said, "Helen, Daru ki botal." Started coaching me to become a lawyer also, and started telling me, "Iska ye affidavit nikalo, iska ye petition nikalo, kaun sa volume hoga." So he used to come back from court and he used to put me to work. I went on to do my post-graduation in marketing because I was so lost. I actually wanted to go to NSD. Wahan pe Amitabh Bachchan rehta hai and I will be back. But I know one thing, that if I don't shut this door, now this is not opening for me. And he said, "No baby, you're too good for them." And I was one of the top actors on TV with Koshish and all of that. Bahu, I said, "Yaar, मुझे नहीं करना bahu." And they said, "Main role तो आजकल bahu का ही होता है." I was the first TV actor to come in a Times of India paper at that time, और a Filmfare magazine was there. Mahesh Bhatt was there. So he told people, ये नई लड़की आई है दिल्ली से, कमाल एक्टर है, बिकनी पहननी है आपको, मॉरिशस जाना है आपको। मैंने मेरा रोल क्या है, आपको रोल से क्या करना है, हीरोइन हो। I was upset with myself. This बैंक खाली हो रहा था, तुम कर क्यों नहीं लेती हो जो आ रहा है? That could never force my heart to do things. You know, Yasmin, that's my problem. I don't want to work in this Bollywood place. I was suddenly getting married. That time it was a big deal if somebody called up and said, "Mani Ratnam के ऑफिस से फोन कर रहे हैं." And I was like, मजाक मत करो यार, and I put the phone down. मुझे क्यों मिल रहा है यश चोपड़ा? They said, "Because he loves you." I'm telling him, the king of Bollywood, मुझे बॉलीवुड समझ में नहीं आता। I said, यार अब तो ये पिक्चर करनी पड़ेगी, हिसाब चुकाना है यार। सरोज खान told me, तुम क्या नाचती हो? Sandhya was a good script. Pastry was a good script. Honeymoon Travels was a good script, but not too many of them were at that time. You know, मैं तो pastry भी मना करने वाली थी. Never be tamed. I could never be put in a box. I'm not just an actor. And they said, "What do you mean by that?" I said, "I don't know yet." People are celebrating you, but inside, and you're putting on a smile, but inside you're just sad. Don't be that cool, bold, bindas girl that they have painted you to be. You're not only that. We're happy to share love, but we're not happy to share grief. Death was just becoming numbers in the news, but they're not numbers to people who are losing them. Journaling just breaks open your heart. Everything that was unhealed got up. The diary became my safe zone. I just said, "No, damn it, I'm not okay, and I don't want to pick up the phone and sound okay because it's convenient to you." They would both always tell me, "You know, you are such a soft, vulnerable human being." I have the courage to fail.
Welcome. now a more civilized welcome. But listen, it's so nice to have you finally on the show. You know, we went to the same school, Mater Dei Convent.
I did not know till about 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you, I think, were senior to me.
Yeah.
And you were Tago House captain.
I was Tago House captain.
Yeah. See, I remember you
great
like
memory,
that.
Yeah.
I remember
मैं भूल गई थी.
Really? No, and I remember he was very sporty and into volleyball.
Yeah.
So
I was volleyball captain also.
You were volleyball captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after you, I was selected to be. That's how I think.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. I was volleyball captain. Yeah. I was so all about sports when I was in school.
Yeah, so I was thinking, I don't remember you being into, storytelling and performance. Were you into all that in school?
Well, I loved acting, and I was doing acting and dancing. And when we went to band club, they would use me. You know, these inter-school competitions we used to go. So I always had a thing for the performing.
You were singing also?
I had to sing in college. We did Cats with LSR.
You were in LSR?
I was in LSR. And I was made to do Mr. Awfully's The Magical Cat. So I had 2 songs to sing, and I had a lot of dancing and leaping and flying around to do.
So, and what did you do after school? You went to LSR?
I went to LSR. And I did math stats.
Math stats? Why?
See, I loved mathematics and economics. They were my favorite subjects, right? Other than Hindi, which I always did very well in, and Sanskrit till it was there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was damn good in Hindi and Sanskrit. I think must be because of my nani and all of that. So then, but my actual favorite subjects were maths and economics and a little bit physics and chemistry. But I didn't like the arts. Actually, I didn't like literature, grammar. You know, I was like, "Ye English literature padhna zaruri hai kya?" Like I used to be like that. You know, it's a joke. I was really cheeky. I was like terrible.
And did they make you stand outside class then?
Yeah. I always went to the basketball court. फिर वहाँ खड़े होके समोसे खाओ. बहुत किया है. In fact, when I became the Tagore captain, when I became games captain also, I was standing punished in the basketball court. When the result was announced, somebody came down to call me and saying, "Sandy, you won, upar aaja."
Oh, sure. Really?
It was like, yeah. Because, I was a good kid, but I was a bit rebellious and bratty.
So how did you decide to take the big leap and get into acting as a career?
So I avoided it for a very long time.
Avoided it mean? Was it a calling that you were
It was
avoiding?
a calling. It was always a calling. When I was 6 years old, I knew that, and I used to be obsessed with Vajanti Mala's dance, and my parents used to watch TV, and I used to sneak under the table in black and white. I used to watch. I was obsessed with Guru Dutt. I used to stand and sing, Pyasa Ka songs and cry. I was obsessed with Wahida ji. I was super obsessed by Helen ji.
Okay.
Like I would see her do something, and the next half an hour in my room, I would be doing Chin Chin Chu and all. I adored her. I think when my dad became judge, I was in Bombay High Court. I was about 7 years old, and I think Chief Justice at that time asked me, the law minister, and Soli Sarabji uncle was there, and somebody said, "Oh, Justice Mridul's daughter, beta, what do you want to grow up to be?" And I said, "Helen, Dadu, keep tell." And I took off, and my father was like, "What is going?" And those are not days where we had TV and social media. We were not exposed. He said, "Kahan se dekh rahi hai ye sab?" My mom is saying, "I don't know where she's getting this from." But I think seeing my father's expression and then his worry over the next few years till he was still around, and then he started coaching me to become a lawyer also and started telling me, "Iska ye affidavit nikalo, iska ye petition nikalo, kaun sa volume hoga." So he used to come back from court and he used to put me to work too. And I enjoyed it. And I thought, okay, I'll grow up to be a lawyer and all of that. But after he went, I kind of said I can't do law when he's not here. I was very disillusioned and shattered. Very, very shattered. And I said, but I will not be an actor also because I know Papa would not have liked it. So I'm never going to do this.
And how old were you at this time?
He was 14 when I was 14 when he went. And I said, no, you'll never be an actor because that will break his heart and you're never doing it. So I stuck to that, and unfortunately or fortunately, I was a good student. I did well in college. I did well in school. I went on to do my post-graduation in marketing because I was so lost. I actually wanted to go to NSD. But my father had plans to send me to London School of Economics, which then obviously did not come through because we couldn't afford it after he went. And I was lost. And my brother, who's also left now, he said, "Baby, marketing kar le, you can never go wrong with it because still you don't know what you want to do." Because I knew what I wanted to do and I was not doing it. So I went on to do my post-graduation in marketing, where also I did very well. Then I started working with Times of India. I worked with them for a year, got really bored.
This is in Delhi?
In Bombay.
In Bombay.
I went back to Bombay. I grew up in Bombay, came to Delhi because my dad quit as a judge, Bombay High Court, and he started practicing as a senior counsel in the Supreme Court here. So we had to move to Delhi for that. So he made us move for that. And I had left there saying, "यहाँ पे अमिताभ बच्चन रहता है and I will be back." Because I used to watch those movies. मैं वापस आऊंगी वाला करके I had left. And I was 21 and I came right back to Bombay. And I worked with Times of India, got really bored. Walked up to the vice president's office one day and said, "I'm bored." And he's like, "Oh my God, this trainee really has guts, The secretary. Then he became a friend and he said, "You're very good. You should not quit and all." I said, "But there's nothing to do. Nobody needs to sell Times of India. Why am I working? We are cheating. We are leaving and sitting in restaurants sometimes." And I was just like very, But after that, I got a job with KLM. I started working with them. And within 3 months, I was confirmed. The first employee to be confirmed. Within 6 months, I became the supervisor. Within 1 year, I became the manager for Bombay customer services. Then I became the head of Bombay. Then I became the head of customer services Western India. Then I became the head of customer services Western and Southern India. So I kept within 2 years. I was really, there was no reason to quit. I was doing really well. My bosses loved me. Both my senior bosses were women. And I was doing really well. And then I got a promotion and I was sitting in office and everybody was like, "Wow, my God, the youngest manager. And my God, you've really done it, yeah, Sandy." And I was like, "Yeah, but I wasn't happy." And I was like, this is such a big, what is going on? And that time, you didn't know there were signs. You didn't know all this. Today, there's a lot of information, but I knew. I said, people are celebrating you, but inside, and you're putting on a smile, but inside you're just sad. Because you're now thinking that you've made it in this place and your dream is over because there's no reason for you to leave this. You're making money, you're buying a house, you've met somebody you're in love with. Everything you have and you're sitting here in complete lack of gratitude. There's something wrong with you. you know, and everybody left, and I sat in that office alone, and I started typing a mock resignation letter, you know, and I was like, what if I was to resign? By then I was reporting to Amsterdam also. I was reporting to Delhi head office. I started typing a mock mail and saying that, you know, my heart's not in it, and I don't, not saying that I want to be an actor, but saying everything that, it was like a journal. I started journaling on that computer. And it was about 8, 9 in the night, and I was closing the flights that was going off. Work was over, I was alone. And I told my PN also, I said, Hari, aap bhi jao. He said, ma'am, kyun akele? I said, jao, jao. I knew something was up with me, you know. And he said, congratulations, ma'am, this, that. He left. And then while typing, I finished it, I read it. And before I could think, and that's the way I've done things in my life, I pressed send. I had resigned. Before I knew I was resigning, I resigned.
On the day you got your promotion?
Yeah. I picked up my bag, switched off the lights, walked home. Landline days, no mobile at that time. Put my landline off the hook because I knew Amsterdam was awake. Meera my Delhi head office would have got a call saying she's done this. And there'll be chaos, and I needed time to breathe. And I went back and I packed my overnight bag because I knew I'd have to fly to Delhi head office. I was working in Bombay. I knew that I'd be summoned there and to ask what the hell happened. Walked in every day in the office saying, what did you do? My secretary, ma'am, your flight is at 10 o'clock. I said, I know. And from inside the airport, on a flight to Delhi, and my boss was like screaming. She's saying, what? Okay, we've overworked you. We burnt you out. Sandhya, take a break. We'll take you back. And she was lovely. She said, you're brilliant. You are doing so well. You're going to go to Amsterdam. What are you doing? You know, why would you throw this? You work so hard. And I said, my heart's not. She said, what do you want to do? I said, I can't say right now. But I know one thing, that if I don't shut this door, another's not opening for me. I need to shut this and breathe and see what I feel. I need to feel what I'm feeling. I don't know. I'm sad. She was like, you're just tired. You're exhausted. You're drained. We've really overworked you. We've given you freighters. We've put a lot of responsibility on you. I said, no, I need to go. And she told me, she said...
And this was what year?
I don't remember yours. Yeah, this was 90,
would have been late
96, late 90s, 97 maybe. She said, go whenever you want to come back, we're going to take you back. Go. Use your free tickets. You have so many you haven't used. You haven't taken a holiday. Go. So I left. I felt, I went out and I was just like free. I trained somebody for the next 3 months. Put that guy there. Stole him from Swiss Air. Put him there. And then I went off. Holiday, went to the US, met my family, went to London, met my family and friends, went to Hong Kong to meet a friend, went to Singapore. I just traveled because I had so many tickets I hadn't used. And I came back and I said, now what to do?
Were you feeling empty even after you came back?
No. I was feeling very excited, but I was also very nervous. Saying, but my whole family was like, kya kar diya isne? But my mother, I have to say, she said, whatever you want to do. And I called her and I said, Ma, I think I want to be an actor. I don't know how to do it. I don't know if it'll happen for me, Ma. But I'm very sorry if I'm going to disappoint Dad and you. And she said to me, she said, don't disappoint him then. Do it really well. And make sure you don't spoil his name ever. Do it, if that's what you want to do. And my brother said the same thing to me. He said, just make sure you protect Dad's name. Keep his legacy, beta. Do whatever you want. So my other brother, they're like, just do it. My middle brother, who was actually my friend, he said, baby, don't go into this industry. Please. He said he was an advertising guy. And he said, no, baby, you're too good for them. You're no, baby. You have too much, you have talent, but it's not your place. You're too forthright. You're too transparent. You're a good soul. And, he was not happy about it. But he said, I'm always there, but, So, I just... and then it's really weird, So I was setting up, I bought a new home, I was setting it up, and I said, just take a break. So I literally took 6 months off in my life, at the peak of my career. And I was doing up the house. Which is
quite a thing nowadays, but at that time, I don't think anybody...
I was suddenly getting married, and a whole lot of things were going on in my personal life. It was really exciting. And then I was out at some party one night, and some friend's birthday party at the Gymkhana Club, and At some point, somebody walked up to me and said, I've been watching you. Are you an actor? And I said, yes. And they said, oh, great. This is my card. Call me. And I was like, okay, And next day, I forgot about it. And then I found cleaning up my stuff, folding my clothes, whatever, found this card in my jeans. And I said, ye kya hai? And I said, this lady had said to call her and meet her. So I called her. She said, can you come and meet me now? I said, yeah, where are you?
This is Delhi or Bombay?
Bombay,
okay.
Back then I was in Bombay only. I said, yeah. So she said, where do you live? And turned out to be like 10-15 minutes away from her. So I said, okay, I'll come in an hour. So I chali gayi as a jeans t-shirt pehen ke. I was always a jeans t-shirt. Chali gayi main. Wahan she gave me a script. She said, ye padho.
Who was it?
I'll tell you later. She said, ye padho. So I read it. So she said, now can you read it with me? So I said, yeah. And I put the script away. And she said, no, it's okay. You can use the script. Because I just looked at it and I said, yeah, okay, I'm ready. And she said, oh, will you remember? I said, can I change a few words here and there? She said, yeah, of course. Did the thing. And she said, oh my God, where have you learned how to act? You've got very good skill. And I said, I liked you last night. I am not an actor. I have never acted. I acted in college, in school. I used to work with KLM. I was the head of Western and Southern India. She said, my God, Sandhya, you were made for this. You quit a job. You were made for this. Let me call my husband. He's the director. She went inside, called him. And they put on this camcorder. And she said, do exactly what you did. I said, okay. And she said, give me 2 minutes. She went and she got this bandana and tied it on my head. She put a nose pin. And she put a little kajal in my eyes because I just went like that. And I had long hair. And she said, okay, do the same thing now. And the director was like, recorded this. Said, oh my God, you're really good. And I was like, wow, really? They said, yes, you are. And I said, I was like, I thought this is a dream. I didn't even know if I had it. You really think I have it? And all that. And I said, yeah, and I really liked them. Lovely couple. They said, can you join from next week? I said, join what? Said, we shoot your character, introduce your character from next week. I said, I'm an actor from next week? What? I'm an actor from next week? They said, yeah. And I was like, no way. And I said, okay, can you tell me what this is for? Ulta chal raha hai sara na. And I cannot tell you, that day was a sign that this was meant to me. The show that was my favorite, the only show I watched on repeat on television, Banegi Apni Baat. And I screamed. And then I started saying, am I opposite Irfan? Irfan's character. Yes. Am I opposite this one? Is that Rituraj? Is that Girish? Shivali? They say, oh my God, I said, that
was iconic.
I loved that show.
Yeah, that was.
And they said, you're coming in and we've already done 200 episodes, whatever. They've done a lot of episodes. But the last 150 episodes, we're creating a triangle between Girish, Malik and Shefali. And you are going to be that girl who comes and creates that rift.
This is really meant to be, huh?
Can you believe it? I went home. I think I was flying on the way back. I went back and I was like, I'm an actor in Banegi Apni Baat. I call up my mom, I call up my brother, I call up my friends. Everybody's like, what? I was like, yes. It just came. Just walked to me. And next week I was acting. I was acting. I was just
that's quite some story.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just insane.
If it's meant to be, na? And then you continued for many years on television before
5 years. Then I walked away.
Yeah, you walked away from that. You was like, I'm getting
I'm
pigeonholed.
a walker. मैंने सब कर लिया था यार.
You had
this character, that character, good bahu, bad bahu. Then it became about bahus, and every time they used to call me and saying, "Ma'am, of course, by then I had broken through, and I was one of the top actors on TV with Koshish and all of that." And they'd call me and saying, "Ma'am, obviously main role है, and ये bahu." I said, "यार, मुझे नहीं करना bahu." And I said, "कोई और role नहीं दे सकते?" I said, "Ma'am, लेकिन main role तो bahu का ही है ना. Main role तो आजकल bahu का ही होता है." So I said, "I'm done." I finished my commitments. I had 2 shows.
You decided, I'm not going to do this.
I said, I'm done. I've done everything. I worked with good directors. I did good work even on television, I never repeated myself. I stayed even choosy even then. And I was busy like mad. I was doing 2 dailies, 2 weeklies, all in the main lead. One I was doing Hubahu, in which I was playing a twin role, double role. My hands were full. I was shooting 31 days a month, and sometimes 2 shifts. 5 years, and I said, everything that had to be done has been done. And now, after that, television really went to hell because all horrible stuff was happening. Horrible stuff was happening, and I walked away. And I remember people saying, "What? Just when you're making the most money?" Like
I was just going to say, not easy to walk away from so much money.
I've always walked away at the top. You know, even with KLM, that's what I did.
But that's also secure.
Even with Times of India, that's what I did. Even with this, that's what I did. I said no. And the thing is, I was nervous because I said, "Ab karogi kya tum? Kyunki film mein to tum kar nahi sakti."
Why did you feel
Because everybody had told me, and I had also realized, because in the TV, this thing already. See, then after that I went on to do Swabhiman. So Bhatt Saab was there, Mahesh Bhatt was there. So he told people, "ये नई लड़की आई है दिल्ली से, ये कमाल actor है." So I started getting calls for films. I was the first TV actor to come in a Times of India paper at that time, or a Filmfare magazine. No TV actor had ever come, you know, because of Bhatt Saab, because he said this girl is tremendous. So I got a lot of, within the first year I was getting like calls, you know. So, but I remember Bhatt Saab also telling me, I remember going for a few meetings and saying, "No, don't touch me. आपको बात करनी है मेरे से बात करो." And you know, listening to some narrations where they're saying, "बिकनी पहननी है आपको, मॉरिशस जाना है आपको, मैं मेरा रोल क्या है, आपको रोल से क्या करना है, आप हीरोइन हो, you know." And I was like, "What is idiots?" And I'd walk out. And then everybody told me, "You're really making people upset." And I was like, "They're making me upset. How are they talking? They have no respect for women. They have no respect for actors. I don't want to do this. I don't want to work in this industry. I don't want to work in this Bollywood place. I don't like it." And I was very vocal about it. And to like some really big people also, you know. So everybody told me, he said, "Film to tu kar nahi sakti." मैंने हाँ वो तो मैंने मेरे से तो ये नाचना गाना भी नहीं होगा. मैं तो unfortunately बहुत ज़्यादा पढ़ी लिखी हूँ. I think, you know, like my boss used to tell me, he said, "You're overqualified to be an actor, Sandhya." The problem is that. And I was like, no, they are very good people, respectful people, who are intelligent people who are actors. I said, you can't generalize like that. But it was not my cup of tea, so I didn't know what I was going to do. So again, I took a break. I went off to my Masi, who I'm very close to. So again, I went off to Florida to spend time with her, have chats with her, this, that. फिर मैं वापस आई. Few days after I came back, I get a call saying, "Mani Ratnam के office से phone कर रहे हैं." I'm like, yeah, whatever. I said, somebody is joking. Because see, today Mani Ratnam is a very, like everybody, because social media, it's often said. That time it was a big deal if somebody called up and said, "Mani Ratnam के office से phone कर रहे हैं." And I was like, मजाक मत करो यार. And I put the phone down. फिर आया. फिर मुझे phone आया किसी का, "Sandhya, Yashraj is trying to reach you." I'm like, what is, somebody's pranking me? Mani Ratnam, Yash Chopra, what is going on? Like, this is not happening. है ना, मैं तो टीवी एक्टर हूँ यार, ये क्या हो रहा है ये? और मैंने 3 महीने से काम भी नहीं किया है. Then I got connected and I got called to Yashji's office.
This was Sathya.
And I'm meeting who? I'm meeting Yashji. And I'm like, मुझे क्यों मिल रहे हैं Yash Chopra? They said, "Because he loves you." I met him, he said, "बच्चे, I love you. I love your work. कोशिश का एक सीन नहीं छोड़ता मैं." Then he said, "My wife is here today." She said, "वो आएगी तो मुझे मिला देना." She wants to meet you. Pam wants to meet you because she loves you. We love you. तुम्हारा एक एक सीन हम देखते हैं, you know. तुमने उस दिन वो सीन किया था, अरे तुमने क्या किया? I'm just like, is this happening? What is going on? You know, like Yash Chopra is sitting here and he was lovely. He said, "बेटे पिक्चर कर ले, तो बड़ा अच्छा करेगी ये पिक्चर." मैं सर मेरे को पिक्चरें नहीं करनी है जी. He said, "क्यों?" अच्छा, मेरे को ना बॉलीवुड समझ में नहीं आता. I'm telling him, the king of Bollywood, मुझे बॉलीवुड समझ में नहीं आता. And he's laughing, he's saying, "बच्चे, बड़ी सच्ची लड़की है तू, लेकिन सुन हमारा ना ऐसा नहीं है कुछ, हम बड़े प्यार से तेरे को रखेंगे, बड़े प्यार से कराएंगे, रानी मुखर्जी है फिल्म में, ये है वो है ना." ऑनलाइन मुझे नहीं करना. Then he said, "अच्छा ऐसे बच्चे, मेरे ना डायरेक्टर से मिल गया तो फिर वो तेरे को समझाएगा, फिर तू बताना, कर ले बेटा, कर ले, अच्छा करेगी तू, बहुत अच्छा करेगी तू." I left there saying, अब क्या करूँ यार, how to say no to Yash ji. Went to he gave me an address. He said, "अभी चले जा, डायरेक्टर घर पे है, नया बच्चा है मेरा, पहली फिल्म है उसकी, उससे जाके मिल ले तू." This is life. My life has been about serendipity. I'm looking at the address and I said, ये address तो मैं जानती हूँ यार, ये बड़ा familiar लग रहा है ये address क्यों familiar लग रहा है? And in my heart, I'm saying, "Oh no, don't tell me it's that house, don't tell me." And I reach out, I stand outside this house where I had lived once. Because when I came to Bombay, I was staying as a paying guest. And one night, my landlady went nuts and threw me out of the house for no reason. And I called up some friends that time, and they sent me to this friend's house. It was Muzaffar Ali's house. I knew his son, Murad Ali. Somebody said, "Murad has empty room. He's a very dear friend of ours. He's happy to keep you, Sandy." And middle of the night, I'd gone and I'd stayed in his house for 3 months till I found another place.
Wow.
And I'm standing in front of that house. And I'm like, "Shah ki kaun hai?" ये तो मुराद का घर है. Shadali's his half brother. Then I remember this sweet little kid that used to be floating around. And he looked at me and said, "Oh my God, Sandy, you're Sandhya Mridul." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're that little boy." He's like, I said, "अब तो ये picture करनी पड़ेगी." मतलब like हिसाब चुकाना है यार. इस घर ने मुझे श्रेय दिया था, मुझे रखा था.
My God.
बचाया था इस घर ने मुझे. इतना प्यार दिया था इस घर ने मुझे. I'm like, यार, Shad. He said, "Sandy, why are you saying no yaar to Yash and all? Very nice role. Okay, you watch this. It's a Tamil film. You watch it." And then you see. So I took the DVD home, watched it, came back and said, "I think the role is very boring." So he said, "Talk to Yash ji." So I said, "Yes." He said, "बच्चे तू अपनी तरीके से कर. तभी तो तुझे ला रहा हूँ. तू जान डाल देगी. तू कर अपनी तरीके से कर." He was so encouraging. Then there was Shad, who I owed something to, you know, and I just felt, look at what's happening. It's payback, and it's so beautifully happening, you know, and it's also probably a sign for you to do this film, that you've run away from Bollywood, but it's coming to you. Do this. It's a lovely, and I had a blast, and I didn't know how big it would become for me. I did not realize that. I just did my job and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Satya. My experience with Rani, my experience with Anil Mehta, my experience with Shad, with Vivek.
It was shot beautifully.
People said about Vivek, I got along. Vivek was extremely helpful with me. I had a great rapport with Vivek, and Anil sir shot it so beautifully.
It's beautifully shot.
He's like the god of camera. I was like always looking at him because he's also a very handsome man. So I used to just yes, Anil sir. Then one day he said, "Please don't call me sir." I said, "Okay." Now he's become a friend. But it was a wonderful experience. And then when the reviews and all came out, I was like, "Hey, they loved me." What? I was like shocked. But still after that also I said, मुझे नहीं करना. Then Shashank got me वैसा भी होता है with Arshad Varsi, which I loved the script. Then I fell in love with art cinema, and I did Page 3, I did Honeymoon Travels, which were also great experiences. But my heart was getting pulled to this smaller cinema, and I did about many films actually with Irfan, with KK, with another wonderful actor called Prashant, with Vinay, Ranveer. We did it. That never released.
All of them.
Because उस समय it wasn't the time for this, you know. And I was getting offers from commercial, but I was not. Then again, I could never force my heart to do things, you know, Yasmin. That's my problem. Like Arshad became a friend and he said, "यार तू बाद में शबाना आज़मी बन लेना. अभी तेरे को commercial तू कर Sandy. You're good. तू अच्छा नाच भी लेती है. तू कर." सरोज खान told me, "तुम क्या नाचती हो?" मैंने पहली बार नाचा था साथिया में. She said, "तुम तो बहुत सही डांसर हो." I was like, "सच में?" She said, "हाँ, मैं सिखाऊंगी तेरे को." And I was like, "Wow." Tanuja auntie told me, she's saying, "Darling, you're made for big things." Kajol came to set one day. She said, "I wanted to meet you because I'm getting a little insecure about you. My mother keeps telling me there's this tremendous actor. She's wonderful. I love her. She's great. So I had to come and meet you." You know, then Kajol and me became friends. Yeah, so it was really, I was really cherished and loved on that. You know, Gulzar Saab also had written the script and he said, "तुमने बहुत अच्छा काम किया बेटा." And I was like, "Oh my God, Gulzar Saab knows me." You know, so it was quite a trip for me.
So what was your heart telling you at that time? If the experience
commercials, see, Satya was a good script. Page 3 was a good script. Honeymoon Travels was a good script. But not too many of them were at that time. I did whatever was good. And where I felt I could bring something, where I felt there was substance and meat, where I could really do something interesting and be remembered for it. You know, for me, it's never been quantity. For me, it's always been... My dad used to quote, I think Winston Churchill had said this, and my Papa used to always say this, "Be a ditch digger, beta, but be the best ditch digger." You know, so ये मेरे दिमाग से कभी गई नहीं बात. You know, and I just said, don't go into something that your heart is not in. You left a big job because your heart was not in it. So now you've learned something, now follow it. You left TV because your heart was not in it anymore. Then you just go with it. थोड़ी हिम्मत लगती है, लेकिन वही करो.
But it's also like when you're staying alone in Bombay, it's tough to say no to money because you're surviving on your own.
It was hard. I went broke. My friends were upset with me. Everybody was like, "ये क्या कर रही है?" Everybody started, the industry started calling me arrogant because they're like, "ये मना क्यों कर देती है?" But मैं connect ही नहीं कर पा रही थी. और I was upset with myself because बैंक खाली हो रहा था. And I was like, यार ये क्या सपना है जो इतना difficult है? तुम कर क्यों नहीं लेती हो जो आ रहा है? You know, मैं तो Page 3 भी मना करने वाली थी, पता है?
Why?
पता नहीं यार. पता नहीं. Then a friend of mine said, "इनकी चांदनी बार देखो." Director friend of mine who did वैसा भी होता है. The film I loved, Shashank, he said, "Sandy, shut up. Quietly go and do this film." I said, I don't know, yeah, Shashank. He said, just shut up and go and do this film. I'm telling you, you better do this film. तो मैंने किया जाके. And Madhur Bhandarkar didn't even want me.
Oh, okay.
He said, यार वो तो बड़ी अच्छी एक्टर है लेकिन वो बड़ी सिंपल बहू टाइप है और साथिया में भी इतनी सिंपल सी स्वीट लड़की है, मेरे को ना कोई सेक्सी बिंदास लड़की चाहिए ना. At least 6 people recommended my name to him. And he said, यार सब लोग संध्या मृदुल क्यों बोल रहे हैं यार, वो बड़ी सिंपल सी लड़की है, मुझे कोई बहुत ही बोल्ड बिंदास लड़की चाहिए and all that. So somebody said, सर आप मिलो उससे एक बार. So he said, उसको ऑडिशन करूंगा मैं, लेकिन उस समय करते नहीं थे, लेकिन मैं ऑडिशन करूंगा. तो कैमरा लगा रहे थे वो लोग. He sat down to talk to me. 15 minutes later he said, कैमरा हटाओ, I found my pearl. ऐसी है तू ऐसी है. मैंने सर मैं ऐसी हूँ. आपको अच्छा नहीं लग रहा तो मत लो मुझे एक्चुअली, क्योंकि मेरे को भी नहीं पता मुझसे होगा, मुझे करना है कि. I was like that. And he was like, yeah, this is the girl I want. You know, so I was also reluctant to do it. He was initially reluctant to take me. His producer told him also, take this girl. I saw her at some fashion week. She was walking the ramp. She's your pearl. But he was like, नहीं यार, मैंने तो इसका जो काम देखा है इसने बड़ी simple सा काम किया हुआ है.
But you know, I was going to ask you, but then you've also been a Bombay person that, like as a Delhi person, Delhi girl, I found it a little difficult. Like I was in Bombay for many years, and I was in fact working with Bhatt Sahab.
अच्छा.
Yeah. So
Plus channel में थे तब.
Plus channel. Plus ही तो था. Plus channel. So in fact, you know, at one point he had asked me to work with 3 people. And one was Ashutosh, Manoj and Madhavan. That ये 3 लड़के हैं, इनको introduce करना. I know Ashutosh is a friend of yours.
Rana is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Maddie and me were also very, very close at that time. Now we've drifted apart, but if we meet, we're always.
So we have, I don't know, you will not recall, but once I think Ashutosh was at your place and we were having a conversation, me and Ashutosh were happening on the phone from your landline or something. And at the background was your constant commentary. कि किससे बात कर रहे हो, क्यों बात कर रहे हो, क्या बात कर रहे हो. And I was like, कौन है ये? Then he's like, ऐसे ही है.
Rana and me are very close. Abhi we drifted apart for a bit. Then my mother was very upset about it because she adores Ashu. And Ashu was my first best friend in the industry.
Yeah, it seemed like that.
No, we were inseparable. And we were really.
Are you back in touch now?
Yeah. Nice. Thank God. Thanks to Ma, because she said बहुत, and even Renuka said बहुत हो गया यार. And then Ma a couple of years back said नहीं बेटा, मैं आ रही हूँ और सबसे पहले आशु से मिलने जाएंगे. And everybody got emotional and hugged and cried. And then Ashu called up his sister and Didi saw me and said, Sandhya, and all that. And Mom got emotional. And Renuka said, this is what I wanted to see, you know, and all of that. So yeah, Ashu will always be a brother. Of course, we were linked up and all also, which was ridiculous. And we laughed at it. हाँ, बड़ा था. Because वो स्वाभिमान में भी opposite each other थे ना, तो बहुत ज़्यादा वो link up चल रहा था. Everybody believed I was dating Ashu. And we were like chalk and cheese. And that's why we got along as friends so supremely. And
I remember he telling me, हमारी एक बहुत अच्छी मित्र है.
मैं उससे हिंदी सीखती थी. इतनी मतलब तुम्हारी वाली हिंदी जो है ना. He said, तुम हो वैसे शिबानी जी हो, because I was playing that character of Shibani, na, opposite him, who's little Western. And I said, तुम हो शिबानी. Yeah, so Rana was a friend. Maddie then became a friend. Maddie and me did one show together for Anupam Kher, which was basically a remake of Three's Company.
Acha, okay. So tell me, how did then writing come to you, or you come to writing? I was reading somewhere, this was during COVID, that you...
You know, actually I used to pen stuff randomly for many years. But कोई डायरी वायरी नहीं थी. ऐसे कहीं 2 लाइन कहीं कागज पे लिख दी, फिर वो कागज कहीं घुसा दिया, फिर 4 लाइन कभी 4-5 हफ्ते बाद, महीनों बाद कहीं से कुछ आ गया. कुछ कंसिस्टेंट नहीं था कि बैठ के लिख रही हूँ या ऐसा कुछ ख्याल है मेरा लिखने का. Nothing of that sort, you know.
Then?
But COVID, what happened was, because I was stuck alone, because so writing was never a discipline or anything of that sort. It wasn't a habit. It was just something that, like, literally some line would come to me and I'd get up and then I finally bought a leather bound diary. और उसमें मैं 2 लाइन भी आती थी, तो सालों अभी तक है वो. उसमें मैं लिख देती हैंडमेड पेपर में. But COVID के टाइम पे I was stuck alone in Bombay, all alone, no help, nothing, because I only had part-time women who used to come because I never used to like anybody living in the house. My family was all in Delhi. And I was, after some time, not doing great, you know. I was getting anxiety, panic attacks. I was, I was going through a lot. And I made journaling a part of my ritual, because I needed to I needed to. But if somebody called me, I would just be, but I was not able to express what I was feeling, as I'm sure was happening to a lot of people at that time.
Especially those who were living
very
alone.
Unknown territory, and those who were living alone, people, like, were calling up and saying, you need help, you need, stuff like that. Strangers were calling me up, And in fact, a very sweet thing happened during COVID. 24th of March, I think we locked down. 28th of March is my birthday. And I never keep alcohol in my house. But I was like, it's guys on Facebook. I went on Facebook, which I hardly used to go to. And I went to Facebook and said, guys, it's my birthday today. Can anybody lend me 2 pints of beer? I really feel like celebrating myself.
And then how did it come to you?
A random person, a producer who was there, who I've never worked with, who had offered me some work. We had never met. We had been talking about some work, but it had never happened. Messaged me in my inbox saying, Sandhya, I've seen you walking around. I think we live very close to each other. I can give you beer. And I was like, where are you? He said, she said, I'm 2 buildings away. Don't worry, I'll manage to sneak out and drop it with your guard. And he gave me 2 pints of beer with my guard. I went and got it, washed the bottles, sanitized them, sat in the evening. First Zoom call, my friends made me download Zoom. First Zoom call happened. Everybody got onto that Zoom call. I was like, oh my God, wow. And then had some beer and, But I had a wonderful schedule. I don't think I've felt more gratitude in my life, in fact, as I did during COVID. Every time I made a meal for myself, because I'm not a cook, but I learned how to. I don't know what, my heart used to just well up, and I used to take that plate and I used to be like, stop at my nanny's photo and my dad's photo, and I say, thank you. I used to feel so much gratitude. But also I was going through a lot. Then that book became that diary became my safe zone, and I would just sit down there every morning, after breakfast with my coffee, and I would sit down and I would just write, whatever. I'm scared. What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to mom? I hope mom is okay. Nothing happens to mom. I hope this, I hope that. I would just write. And that's what I did. And I think journaling just breaks open your heart. I think I can only put it that way. I think it just breaks open your heart. And then when that happens, I think some kind of art and creativity comes out of you, and it could be in any form. And for me, it became writing, and then writing became a need, a habit, a process, and something that became a very important part of my life suddenly. And I realized how much I love it. And then poetry just started erupting, and I would just get up and I would type it on the phone sometimes and go to sleep. It was not in one place. But then I made one notebook and my notes in my phone, because very often I'd be lying down and 4 lines would suddenly come to me, and I had to put it down because I could never sit down and write poetry. It had to come. But I would write other stuff, story of my life, what I'm feeling today. I'm scared. I'm feeling broken. I'm feeling shattered. Some relationship that had gone bad has now come back to me because I'm sitting on my own, not knowing what to do. I haven't healed from that. Oh my God, I haven't healed from the loss of Papa. Oh my God, I haven't healed from the loss of my best friend. And all of that was catching, because that's what happened in COVID. Everything that was unhealed got up.
Yeah.
And the only way I knew, other than my yoga and my pranayam, to heal was, and I used to dance. Half an hour every day, I used to put on some song and I used to dance. I used to put on Bruce Springsteen and I used to dance, Became writing. Where I would just write and share it with some friends, and they said, my God, you can write. And I was like, no, friends love you and they just say it and all. But then there are a few very well-read friends of mine. They said, no, Sandy, you've got something. And I was like, no, you all just love me too much, Never really thought I had a book or I was going. Never. It was never a plan. It was not even a dream. It wasn't. It really wasn't. And I continued to write. And then year before last, somebody said to me, listen, you can really write. And I'm telling you, I do a lot of work with literary people. I'm going to just give you a publisher's name. And I'm going to give you another 2 publishers' names. I want you to just meet them. And then suddenly I decided to also move to Delhi. He said, great, they're in Delhi. Just meet them. And I was like, really? Okay. And I said, I'm starting a new life. And I wanted to meet new people anyway, And there was one person from Penguin, one person was an independent publisher. I went and met both, and they both happened to like me, like my work as an actor, met me, indulged me. Big publications don't like to go with poetry because it doesn't sell. But they said, Sandhya, if you do any any fiction, non-fiction writing other than poetry, we will look at it because you're a very interesting person and we like what you have to say. So, but not poetry. So I went with this independent publisher who said, I love what you, I said, and sent him my poetry and he said, I love what you've done. I'm willing to, I'm not a very big guy, but I believe in what you're doing and I'm happy to do this with you.
So tell me, you've spoken a lot about grief and loss. Has the relationship with that changed with your writing? Did it help you process?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the shame went away from grief. Because grief
There
comes
is shame in grief?
There's a lot of shame in grief because there's a lot of isolation in grief. It's a very, very lonely process. You want people to hold your hand, but you're unable to express correct. And then they misunderstand you, you misunderstand them. There are expectations, there are disappointments, you know, and there's a lot of, you know, today there's a lot more information, but people are always like, okay, now you've grieved enough, now move on. When will you move on? When will you, what are you grieving from? You know, they're in a better place. You know, just be okay. And I just said, no, damn it, I'm not okay. And I don't want to pick up the phone and sound okay because it's convenient to you. So you know what? I'll just talk to my book. You know, and I'll just be where I feel safe and not misunderstood. And yet I'm not draining somebody else. But you do need somebody. But the point is, nobody can grieve for you. Nobody can let go for you. Nobody can move on from you, for you, from something or someone that you don't want to move on from. You have to do it for yourself. It's great if somebody can hold your hand alongside, but you have to take that expectation out because people are not going to get it. And you're always going to feel lesser for grieving. You're always going to feel that. You're going to feel weaker. You're going to feel vulnerable. You're going to feel all of those things that you don't want to feel. None of us want to feel weak and vulnerable.
But then when you
I decided to feel it. I said, I want to feel everything. Anybody who's judging me can walk away. Maybe this is the time that nobody should be with me. Maybe I should just be on my own and I should just do what I like to do, write. And I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. And some people hung on there because they've been my friends forever. And I tried not to dump and vent and rant on them as much as I could. But there were some really bad days, especially after I lost my brother.
That was recent.
3 years ago. And my best friend, he was my best friend. You know, he was the middle brother. And we were very, very close.
And how did you lose him?
He had a heart attack and he went beautifully. He went in his sleep. So we're grateful for that, but it was just too much. And everything fell apart for me. I've lost a lot of people in my life. I've lost, from the age of 14, I lost my dad, I lost my nanny who was very close to, I lost 2 of my best friends, very young. I've lost 3 best friends in COVID. You know, so I had lost a lot of people. And it was all coming out. And it became, you know, the residual grief that you've not healed from, it gets attached to. So this one mammoth loss of Bhaiya also got attached with a whole lot of other stuff. And I just felt, you know, with everything that was happening in people's lives, death was just becoming numbers in the news. But they're not numbers to people who are losing them. And instead of being empathetic, I think there was an apathy कि सभी मर रहे हैं वैसे भी. वो एक period, एक phase आया था जब ऐसे हो रहा था. And it was extremely hurtful for those of us who were actually losing people.
Yeah, it was very this thing.
You know,
went in
and
COVID.
everybody wanted to put on this act of being okay, you know. And I started talking about not being okay. And everybody said, "Yeah, Sandhya Mridul तो बड़ी bold बंदा से वो ऐसी बातें कर रही है." Some would message me and say, "Ma'am, thank you. I'm feeling the same, ma'am. And if you are like this, I'm not alone, ma'am. Thank you." And I started really becoming vocal during COVID, saying, shattered, feeling scared. Whoever's feeling this today, I'm here. You know, and I just started doing this because it was just, I just felt that love, grief are the same thing. We're happy to share love, but we're not happy to share grief. We choose what we want to share. It doesn't work like that. You're made of all of this. And I'm not saying bring the collective energy down. In fact, I'm saying quite the opposite. I'm saying talk of the dark and the difficult, deal with the dark and the difficult, so you can go out with good energy, because when you clean your home and you clean yourself and you heal, you have something to give.
And you feel sharing helps you to
yes,
clean that
it does
space.
immensely.
But it's also exposing yourself.
It
But
is, and I felt exposed, and I felt weak, and I was at times made to feel stupid. There were a lot of people who judged me on it, but I just said, कोई नहीं, जाने दो. जो नहीं समझ रहा है इस वक्त उसको जाने दो. गुस्सा मत रहो, जाने दो. इस वक्त के लिए जाने दो, बाद में देखेंगे. अभी ये नहीं है energy. Don't fake your energy anymore. Don't be that cool, bold, bindas girl that they have painted you to be. You're not only that. You have other feelings that, I fell for my own image, Yasmin, for too many years. I refused to acknowledge the vulnerable. And
because you were the strong person.
I was always a strong person. I was always the cool, strong person, the brave person who could do anything. And I had two friends who would always tell me. One was Maria Goretti, Arshad's wife. She and another friend of mine, Suchitra Pillai, who's also an actor. They would both always tell me, you are such a soft, vulnerable human being. And everybody thinks you're this hard, arrogant person. Stop it. You're not that person that you're portraying. You have such a lovely side, Sandy, that you're not showing. And I was like, no. They say you're mad, you're funny, you're fun. It's there, but why would you not own? I would never kind of show that side.
So tell me, where did this name come from? Untamed. Now, if you think of it and think of you, then it's very you.
Henna?
Yeah. But
it was not the first name that came to me. The first name that came to me was one for sorrow, two for joy.
That's such a school thing,
convent
school thing.
Isn't it? Abhi bhi karti hu main. So, unfortunately, the title was taken.
Oh, okay.
Then I wanted to call it Bear, which was also taken. And then I woke up one day and Untamed just came to me. It just came to me in my sleep, literally. And I got up and I called my publisher and I said, I've got my name. And this is what I want to call it. And he said, done. We're going with this. And in retrospect, it's the best name of all the three that I thought of because it's really me. In so many ways. In so many ways. I could never be tamed. I could never be put in a box. When you think I'm going to do this, I do something else. I surprise myself more than anyone else. And above all, I think it talks of my spirit, which remains untamed. I sink into depths of feeling low, but I also know how to feel the good. And I decided a while ago that it's okay. I want to feel everything. I feel everything. And the problem is that I'm denying one part of me. And because I'm ashamed of feeling low or bad or sad or broken or any of those dark emotions.
There's a need to fix it quickly.
There's a need to fix it. You can't fix it. You can't make it go away. You can't. You have to feel it. It has to pass through you.
I agree. The only way through is through it. There's no
other way. And I was reading a lot. I was reading a lot of Pema Chodron during COVID. I was reading a lot of books on healing, and I was reading. And I said, come on, you've had the courage to do other stuff. Have the courage to work on yourself. Have the courage to, it's okay, feel it. Let people say, come on, yeah, Sandy. Let people say that. And if you don't want to hear it, don't have a conversation with them about it.
It's a process also.
It's a long process, and I decided to go for it, and it's an ongoing process.
That's what I'm saying. It's an ongoing, you never arrive at a...
healed, But yes, you know that you need to use some tools. You know that, your weaknesses, and you're not ashamed of them. You're not defending or justifying.
You're not being ashamed of them.
You're not defending and justifying them. When I'm low, I say I'm low. I'm not going to talk to you for a few days. I'm not feeling up to it.
And how do you cope with it?
I said, I do my pranayam, I write, I read, I take walks. Walks really help me. I stand under cold shower. I go through anxiety. I suffer from anxiety for a while now. Long, about 15 years now. But it's more, I can manage it better. You can't make things go away. You can just manage them better, and I do. And I'm a very high functioning person. But at the same time, I take breaks. I go away to the mountains. I spend time there. I walk a lot. I read a lot. I write a lot. I take a lot of me time, a lot of it, and because that's what works for me. But I don't defend and justify unacceptable emotions to myself or to anyone. And I don't shy from anybody else's negative emotions. I don't call them toxic and turn my back on them. I'm far more kinder than most people to that kind of stuff. Because if I was not kind to them, I would also not be kind to myself. So I've learned to be kinder to myself and others for not feeling great. Uh, and I'm not bound by any image. And nor do people see me in only one way, as they saw me as the sexy, bold, bindas, cool babe of Bollywood, which was all a part of a role and part of me, not all of me. The pastry girl was me, sort of, but not all of it. You know,
I was going to ask that, you've been an actor for so many years and you're now a writer. What did you find more exposing? Being an actor out there, you're out there to be judged, or being a writer?
I think for me, being a writer is more exposing because this is the truth you're writing. There you're just playing parts, right? So how are you exposing yourself? You're not exposing yourself at all. In fact, you're hiding behind the roles you're playing. You're not exposing yourself. I cried in POW in scenes as Nazneen. I played the soft, gentle, Nazneen, and I hid behind Nazneen and I wept so much, rightfully so. That part needed it. And Nikhil used to tell me, he said, "You weep, the entire set weeps, Sandy, because it's so real." Because I felt every emotion, because there were emotions in me that needed to be felt. But you're crying as Nazneen, you're not crying as Sandhya. Do you understand? So it was not you getting exposed. I was using my emotions well in parts, but I was never exposed. This book is me exposed. This book, everything I have felt, every word I have written and I have meant. And you'll see me very shattered also in this book. And you'll see me picking it up also in this book. You'll see me dropping it, breaking, building, and the entire process. And so, yeah, if anything exposes me, it's Untamed.
Would you mind reading something?
Yeah, sure. I think the first one, which I wrote last for my mom, actually, I said I wrote it for my mom, but it's literally now when I read it, it's like I wrote it for myself. I can read that, or I can read you what is Shabana's favorite.
Read your favorite, whatever you want.
Okay, I'll read the first one, which was about my brother and for my mom. And about a word that really has started bothering me for a very long time, the word strong, which I find extremely controversial. So this poem's called How Strong. It's the first one. How strong do you have to be to see the vacant look in your mother's eyes? How strong to put the light back in her shattered heart, dark with fear and pain and loss? How strong to not collapse, break into a million pieces in front of her, because she's your mother too. How strong to tell yourself she's his mother and he's gone. How strong is strong? How strong do you need to be to see a photograph of your brother and not feel your heart smash in your body, your breath jam in your throat, your whole life crumble into pieces? How strong does one have to be to pick up those pieces again and again? How strong is strong? How strong do you have to be to step out into this world again with a limb missing, to feel whole again? How strong to cope every broken moment? How strong to stay afloat even as the waves of grief engulf you and you feel like you're choking and crashing? How strong to feel, to love, to heal, to live truly? How strong is strong? So, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Anything exposes me. It's the first poem in my... Because there's this whole thing of, you're strong, you can do this. You're strong, don't cry.
Yeah.
Don't cry.
Yeah.
Cry. That's also being strong. And I had to change that conditioning for my mom. And that's the first thing I told her when my brother went and I flew down and I met her. And I said to her, I said, we're not going to grieve for Bhaiya like we grieve for Dad by trying to destroy ourselves and not eating and hurting ourselves and harming ourselves. We're going to do this right, Ma. We're going to cry, we're going to break down, we're going to look after each other, we're going to eat well, we're going to look after our health. You still have 2 kids and we have you. So we're going to do this right. And it's this definition of strong, of not crying, or you're not going to do all this. We're going to do this right together. I'm here.
Is that why you came back to Delhi?
Yeah. yeah, I wanted to be around. I felt like my life could just, it's like a river. It just finds
So that's
directions.
would have been not an easy decision. I mean, you've
It
lived your whole life.
wasn't. Last year was very hard for me to settle in because Bombay has been my whole life. I left a 21-year-old girl and I
Yes.
came back a very different woman. So it took a lot out of me. I was really, this book saved me. I'm telling you, putting this book together and then putting this out and now doing this journey with this book has really saved me and given me the return to Delhi that I needed. And I think coming back home is also what's given me this book. And
How was it coming back home for you? Because once you've lived away for so long,
it
I lived
wasn't,
away. It's
yeah.
not the easiest thing to do.
It's not, and it's a very different city, and you're not coming back under the best circumstances. But I knew why I was doing it. So at least that doubt was not there. Because when you live in doubt, you live very uncomfortably. You can live a little unhappy on a few days, a little uncomfortable on a few days, but I was sure that this is what I wanted to do.
You shifted in with your mom.
No, because I'm so used to living
Yes,
on
that's
my
what I was
own, I
asking.
took an apartment in her building complex. So I was very clear
Yeah.
that I'm going to be right on top of her head. I'm going to be around in that complex. I'm not even looking at other I'm going to find a place in that. And can you imagine, you say this and 3 months later, I found it. I found it. It was meant to happen. I just found it. I found the place I wanted to stay in. And I'm right there now. So I see my mom every day. I'm there. She comes and stays with me. I go and stay with her. I walk in anytime and say, "Arey," she looks at me. I said, "La, chalo, lunch khilao." I take her home. Chalo, stay with me. So it's, I know that I wanted to do this. I wanted to be around for my mom. I really did. And I felt that my life I could manage. I'm more mobile than she is, She is, touch wood, for God. But, we can always, if they've done what they had to for us,
Yeah.
it's time for us to do it.
Yeah.
It's just that time. And I'm in full acceptance of that time. And it's not easy, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And there are days I find it hard and overwhelming, and there are days that I just love it. Absolutely. So it's lifing, yeah.
Yeah, true. When we were talking on the phone and we were fixing this up, you said something to me that you don't like to alter too much for anyone or anybody, and I think that's very refreshing because as women we are constantly making adjustments for everybody, and you said something that you said, I have to do my yoga and I have to do this, and I really respected that, but it's not something which is given easily to us women.
No, it's not. We're always feeling sad about letting someone down or not
Yes, I
having
think
done
it's
something for someone.
It's
I
a
think that's just a
constant.
conditioning, But you choose the people you do this for. You don't deplete yourself for everybody. I will do anything for my mom, but I also know that at the end of the day, if the typical empty cup thing, can't give her anything. So I do need to look after myself a lot more now.
I think the pandemic also kind of...
Yeah. But I've always, because I lost two friends very young, Yasmin, that changed something for me. I changed my lifestyle very early. I changed my lifestyle way before the pandemic because I'm telling you, losing Michelle and Vinita for me was just shattering
and they
in my
went due
30s.
to natural reasons?
And one in a car crash and one died of an aneurysm in her head because she was in that car crash and that showed up later, and she had survived it then. But, I changed my life and I started looking after myself and I started living and I started doing that life-work balance. So I'm old at this game. It didn't come to me because of social media and COVID. It was something that I was doing from my 30s anyway. Like I went off to do Vipassana when I was 34 years old.
Acha,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm that person, So, I've always given a lot of priority to my looking after myself.
You're someone who's lived many chapters. There's been actor, poet, seeker. And, do you ever feel the pressure to define yourself by just one label? Or?
No, never. In fact, I hate it. In fact, I love this now. And I don't know why in my earliest interviews, when I was wrapping up from Bombay, I found a whole lot of paper cuttings. There were folders, plastic boxes of paper cuttings. I was like, hey, and I found some of my interviews and I started reading them. And in one of those interviews, I've said that I'm not just an actor. And they said, what do you mean by that? I said, I don't know yet. And I've said this in like literally I think page 3 time or something.
Acha.
I don't know, there's something else, but there's something more that I want to do of substance.
So who is Sandhya now?
Just a free-flowing, let's see what's going to happen person. And try not to hurt people along the way person. And do it your way person. And basically give yourself the permission and the courage to be disliked and misunderstood. It's okay. Not everybody's going to understand you all the time. So right now I'm just, I'm telling you, it's like, I feel like a river nowadays, you know, coming, like, I just feel like, I don't know, it's so interesting and sometimes so frightening because I don't know what's going to happen next. And I'm not controlling the outcome anymore. Yeah, I'm not. Because this book, look at it, if I had controlled and I'd been resistant, I would not have had this book. I allowed myself to fail. You know?
Yeah.
Because I never thought much of this. But I just said, लिखा है ना, and he said, just put it together. 300 निकल आई यार, अभी तो 150 ही डाली हैं, 200.
अच्छा.
But I said, you've given it time, है ना? चलो, क्या होगा? ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग बोलेंगे she's a horrible writer, why she put this book out? नहीं खरीदेंगे, नहीं खरीदेंगे. It's okay. So I have the courage to fail, you know.
And what's next for you creatively? Is there another book happening?
I don't know. I can't force anything. Of course, I have 2 book offers on the table right now. So I'm going to, I had decided that May, I don't want to do anything because this weather, I can't think too much. And I'm finishing, finally doing a shoot after 2 years.
What are you shooting?
I'm shooting for a film. And so I've been traveling for it a fair bit and it's getting over in May. And then I said, June में देखते हैं पेन ले उठाकर एक बार और तो देखेंगे.
Nice. Okay, listen, since we are both from Delhi and the podcast is also about Delhi, we have to do a little fun Delhi round. Okay, so tell me, what is the most Delhi thing about you that you'll never outgrow?
My way of talking, you know, even in because suddenly in Bombay I'd say, phone kar liyo. And they'd be like, eh? What did you just say? And this whole thing of, you know, and it's a thing, and I talk like that. Like, you know, it's like, I think my way of talking, in spite of being a Bombay person, never became that.
When I went to Bombay, everybody used to say, she's a Delhi girl. And I don't know, I didn't know whether to take it as a compliment or to be offended. What do you mean? You're like I didn't know that time. I used to think, is this salwar kameez? Because I wear a lot of salwar kameez in Bombay. But hey, yeah, like this.
So my way of talking never changes. Never changed.
Yeah. Okay, so how can, if you had to describe Delhi, how would you describe?
As green. For me, it's. I just remember as a kid, just feeling that Delhi, in spite of being a city, had so many trees and was so green and was so pretty, and had big roads, and I just felt that it had great food. For me, I miss like my chaat, you know, from Bengali market and my chole bhature from Lajpat Nagar, and you know, for me, like that whole shopping in Lajpat Nagar, I mean, you know, those things are special and not every city has to offer them. They don't, it's not there. That, you know, getting there and standing there and eating it and enjoying that thing, and of going into gullies, of going into Dariba, मतलब यहाँ के मतलब character है यार, यहाँ पे एक जान है. You know,
I agree. Yeah, Delhi has that. It's a character in itself.
It's a character, yeah. You know, and that is why it's such a hit now. So much of Bollywood is based on characters from Delhi. Yeah. Because एक जान है उसमें, you know, and the life there's so much more to do.
Yeah, true.
You know, and not other than malls. I'm not a mall person. Abhi you take me to Southeast Asian market, you take me to Lajpat Nagar market.
Yeah, I'm also for the open market.
मुझे वो चाहिए, you know. So Delhi has that life है यार, Delhi की, you know.
True. Okay, favorite place to be in Delhi. What do you like doing when you're here?
Like I said, I used to love going to Sarojini Nagar, but it's become another place altogether.
I believe so.
Oh my God, वो चला गया vibe. You know, इतना ज़्यादा commercial type हो गया ना Sarojini Nagar.
Somebody was telling me that day you must go.
I miss the Delhi actually. Delhi's become very like fancy and modern now. You know, I miss that grittiness of Lajpat Nagar but I went to all these places and I came ना ऐसे Bengali market भी जाना है, South Indian market में fruit cream बड़ी कमाल की मिलती थी कोने में, वो भी खाना है. वो South Indian वो Chinese के carts लगे होते थे South Indian market में.
अभी
अब नहीं है ना.
अच्छा.
LSR के बाद वो चूरन वूरन वाले लगे होते थे, you know. So I did the rounds of wanting to do all of this, but a lot has changed, you know. And I went to GK market. My favorite thing to do was have that masala banta there, जो मिलता ही नहीं है. वो बॉटल में टुक करके करते थे. तो मैंने जाके प्रिंस पान पे मांगा था. मैंने मसाला बंटा. इसे जी मैडम आप कब की बात कर रहे हो? And I was like, दे दो ना यार. So yeah, these are the things I like to go and do. I like to, you know, I'm not a foodie, but in Delhi I like to get out and eat. Like I went to Gulati.
अच्छा.
हाँ, I went there at काली दाल. वो दाल मखनी जो है ना वर्ल्ड में कहीं नहीं मिलेगी यार. बॉम्बे में कहते थे come Sandy, very good dal makhni. I used to be like, please shut up, just shut up. Don't, you know, that dal makhni and that butter chicken. So दिल्ली आके मैं फूडी बन जाती हूँ. मम्मी का कड़ी चावल, आलू के पराठे. You know, I enjoy. Best thing for me, I think, about Delhi is like I enjoy food. I enjoy eating. So I'm not a foodie.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You mentioned that, you know, when you came back to Delhi, you were also looking at meeting new people, and that's how you. I mean, how come you were putting yourself out there to meet new people?
I just felt, you know, I've been such a recluse for so many years, and I've done that journey because that's what I wanted to do, and I was starting a new life, and I just said, start again, and you know, so it literally for me it was starting again, and when you start again, you meet new people, and I said, meet new people, and I'm telling you, I'm somebody who doesn't go out, who did not want any more people in my life, but I just felt that this change brought a fresh energy also to me, to allow people in after very, very long. Because, and my friends were like, my God, Sandy, you went for that event, so proud of you. So my Bombay friends are in shock because I've barely made it to their birthdays for years now.
I'm asking because I'm very inspired because I'm very, can get very reclusive.
I think that change of energy and that change of starting a new life really made me put myself out there. And then I also wanted to share this book with people because it was resonating with people. It was actually helping people. The messages I've been getting about it, they're, you know, and not from just people my age, younger people. My friends' mothers are calling me and saying, this is like my Bible, I keep it by my bed, you know. And I just said, okay, this book seems to be resonating and helping. So share it with people. Share it with as many people as you can, you know. Get out there.
I want to ask you one more thing, that, you know, when you write something like this, which is, it's putting so much of yourself out there, you're also putting others in your life out there.
Yeah.
So was your family comfortable with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. My family has always been comfortable with whatever I've done.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So.
I've never been judged by them. I've been given a lot of freedom from the time I was a kid. I've never been curbed. So,
and may you continue to flow like the river that you want to now.
I hope so too. But the only person who's curbed me is myself. But now though.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you so much,
Thank
Sandhya,
you.
and thank you. It was wonderful. And actually, we have to get you back again because I just feel there is so much more that one can talk about.
We'll do it.
Yeah,
Done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.